North Texas, Utah State getting set to tip things off here in Montego Bay. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game, brought to you by Playa Hotels. Talked about North Texas, that front line. Drew and Simmons have their work cut out for them tonight. And for the Aggies, Utah State fans know all about Sam Merrill, the 2019 Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. Utah State wins tonight. They'll take home the championship trophy of the Montego Bay Division. Grant McCaslin is the North Texas coach. In his third year, Craig Smith, second-year head coach of the Aggies. They're ranked 15th, could move on up even higher with a win tonight. Here we go from Montego Bay.
I think if you're looking at North Texas, they've got to play like junkyard dogs. They have to be all over the place. They have to contain transition. Obviously, knocking down threes. Utah State is very succinct in running their half-court offense. They like transition, and they got guys that can score all over the court. You have to play fundamental defense.
Down low, Karlowski.
You know, when they do that, it's almost like a drill. It's, if you watch their pre-practice, they move the ball, they don't dribble, and you know, it's like a dance recital when you watch them practice. I mean, they're so good with not, you know, moving the ball without dribbling it on the floor all the time.
Like a symphony, beating in rhythm, so to speak. Harley lets it go and missed it badly, and Bean has the defensive carom. You talked with Justin before the game. He says that mask doesn't bother him at all, right?
Well, he said it doesn't bother him, but when he shoots, it does move. And I don't know if they'll call that a shot attempt. That was clearly a pass to Karlowski.
Reese with the left hand couldn't finish, and Sam Merrill has the rebound. If you weren't with us on Friday night, Utah State was down 19 in the second half against LSU and played about as well as a team could play. Rallied to win that game.
I mean, LSU was in rhythm, and you know, I think that Utah State started playing to keep or to win instead of to keep from losing, and they really, last 10 minutes, they were flawless.
This is Mo Gibson. He'll be a key guy tonight. He's a really nifty passer. That was a good feed to Goo, and our first foul of the game.
Utah State fouls number 52.
See wide open Simmons at the top of the key. That's one of the easier shots to shoot. You have to make sure you got a hand out in there, but then the good ball movement, quick passing, seal off to the basket, and an easy bucket.
Karlowski committed the foul on Goo, and he'll go to the line for two.
Porter's coming out. I mean, he got caught up in a crossfire in there. Somebody nicked his knee, it looked like. Should be able to get back in there. Brito, the senior, coming in to replace him.
So they'll take a look at Porter at the end of the Utah State bench, and we have a whistle, and the clock wasn't running.
Shot clock is still 30. You know, Goo is one of those guys who's extremely athletic, and he's learning to play within his skill set. You know, he can get to the rim. He's the second leading scorer on this team, leading rebounder. As you can see, the shot clock is not moving at all, so they'll fix that. Should be at 25.
So here's Brito. Merrill out front.
That's a second dribble in this third.
Karlowski, strong take, couldn't get it to go. Bean follows and scores.
They got 3 dribbles. That's all they had. That whole possession, Bill. I mean, that's phenomenal. You moved the ball. They probably had 8 passes and 3 dribbles, and 2 of them were getting to the basket. That's just what you want to see in a half-court offense.
Gibson lost it on the way up. And out of bounds, it'll stay with Utah State. Well, they're taking a look at the ankle, it appears, of Porter.
Right in the middle of it is Bean, and you'll see a little bit of an ankle turn, it looks like. They're going to probably re-tape him. Getting back out there is Merrill looking for a long 3. Really impressed last Friday night with Mo Gibson. He's able to get to the basket, but he's really good at distributing the basketball.
Gu, who has, at this point, the best dunk of this tournament, played on the Ugandan national team, an athletic guy, as you can see, without question. Nice floating jumper for Miller. He was quiet the other night on Friday night. Miller on the board here this evening.
Yeah, I think it was, but you know what? He didn't force it. And this is a team that there are so many moving pieces that can score that, you know, somebody else will pick it up. I thought Bean just did a phenomenal job on Friday night, getting into the game and rebounding and making good passes. Watch Gibson get into the heart of the defense through that beautiful bounce pass. Brito, Miller driving the lane. He's a little taller than Gibson. He's able to rise up over top of him.
There's a steal, and Mo Gibson on the run out.
Miller may be taller than Gibson, but Gibson's pretty darn quick. He was able to pick his pocket on that. It wasn't a good pass either.
Merrill with the jump pass to a wide open Brito, and he left that short.
Well, Texas getting it up court quick, trying to get down before the defense sets up. Draper was pretty fiery off the bench, knocked down a couple shots. His mom is actually here. Mom's Amy. She used to coach volleyball at Tennessee Martin.
That lob over the head of Jemiah Simmons, and that'll send us to a timeout. But the Mean Green get it going on the defensive end early, and the kids from Denton, Texas have the early three-point lead.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Jersey Mike's, a sub above. By Tommy Bahama. Shop for your team gear at TommyBahama.com. And by America East, energizing bright minds, celebrating champions, inspiring leaders.
Welcome back to Montego Bay. You're looking at the Errol Flynn Marina. He discovered it. He was on his yacht going to the Galapagos Islands, and he came across this beautiful port in Antonio, Jamaica. And now it's a world-famous marina.
Well, that's one place we didn't visit. We need to get over there next time.
Port Antonio?
Yeah.
Can we bring Alfonso Anderson with us?
I'll tell you what, he had a really good game. I mean, not only he has not scored yet tonight, but he is 9 for 16. Played a solid game. When he was in the game, Utah State was really playing well. He had 6 rebounds to go along with those 24 points.
Shot clock at single digits. They did reset it. I don't know that they should have. It's going to be a shot clock violation. I don't think Utah State ever had possession of the ball.
And that was a great call. The official in it had his, they time, you have a timer on there. Mr. Anderson did a good job of realizing that.
So it's a turnover on the shot clock violation. Brito, nice pass, and Bean couldn't finish.
Good, solid rebound. And now North Texas trying to get down quick. I like when Bell is active on the glass. Very small team they have in there right now, but they're very quick. And they're hard to keep in front. You got to keep in front of them. It's very hard to.
Gibson picked up his dribble. And again, the shot clock at single digits as Draper goes down the lane. A whistle and a foul. It's an offensive foul away from the ball.
We're going to get Draper.
Well, they do call it on Draper for the hook or the push.
His arm out there. I'll tell you, that was a good defensive series for Utah State. We keep saying that they're fundamental, but
he got him with that right arm. Yep.
Yeah, Brito was in front of him doing a good job. The senior, very heady. He had a heck of a dunk last night. On Thursday night, I'm saying Friday night. Last night we sure as heck weren't doing basketball.
We've been here a while, though. Anderson went down the lane, and the foul is called by Steven Anderson again. And free throws coming up.
Texas foul.
And again, all weekend long, Geico is making a donation to the Montego Bay Boys and Girls Club. For every free throw made during this tournament, visit geico.com to learn how you can save 15% on car insurance. Here is Mr. Anderson, the junior from Tacoma, Washington.
You talk about how well-rounded this team is so far this year. They've had 4 different leading scorers, Anderson being one of them. Brock Miller, who didn't play great last night, was another guy that led them in scoring. Obviously, Bean has done it before, and so is Sam Merrill. So, you know, you really can't just take one guy away when you're playing this team, because everybody can score.
Craig Smith is in his second year. What an exciting season it has been so far for the Aggies. They're a high-scoring team. They've scored at least 80 points in every game. They extend their defense now. And if nothing else, it took some time off the clock.
You talked about Craig Smith. He was so excited. His mom and dad's anniversary Friday and celebrated the win. I'm not sure which he was more excited about. Vernon and Beverly with their 50th. But that just tells you the kind of guy he is. It's a family over there. And this is a team that I'm telling you, I watch a lot of basketball early this year, and there's a lot of basketball to go. But this is definitely a top 20 team and maybe a top 10 team.
Gibson misses. Well, we had a chance to talk with Will Wade about the Aggies, and he said there was no doubt in his mind that Utah State was a top 10 team.
Yeah, I'm impressed with them. I mean, they really don't have weaknesses that they can correct. They can score quickly. They play good defense. Beautiful move by Anderson. Good body control as you look at the Smiths. I hesitate to say Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Isn't that a movie?
They celebrated their 50th anniversary with that incredible win that the Aggies had here on Friday night. And by the way, LSU looked so good today. I mean, if you're a Utah State fan, now you want LSU to win as often as the Tigers can, because that's going to be a legit quad 1 win.
Yeah, it definitely will be. And I think Will Wade's going to get them going. And that's unusual. Merrill, that's not, he's not a kid that misses it that bad, but wedged in the side. Yeah. Karvosky wasn't in the game. He could have just jumped up and tapped that ball away.
It's going to maintain possession with Utah State here. The arrow was going their way, but the shot clock will be set at 20. They're asking for some of the young kids that take care of the wet spots on the floor to come out.
Utah State basketball.
The theme of this tournament thus far, through the first few days, has been great athletic play, teams coming from big deficits to tie or win, and the crowds. Every game has been full.
It has been, and I'll tell you that there's a lot of talent in Jamaica this last weekend, and it's going to really be interesting to see how these teams go in the next couple months in their conference play.
Hamlet ran into his own coach on the rebound. I think Coach Mack will get credit for taking the charge here. Eight to shoot for the Aggies. Merrill the lob, and somehow that ball rolled out as Brito couldn't get it to go. At the other end, Draper misfires. And it'll stay with the Mean Green.
But I like what Hamlet did on that. Hamlet was having problems with turnovers in the last game and really running the break. And you know, 5 turnovers in the last game. They really want to see him take care of the basketball. And on that fast break, he was able to get it down, get it in the hands, at least try to get a shot at the basket. But it's so important for Javion to take care of that basketball.
James Reese, a 19-footer, won't go. Simmons tries to get the rebound up. He can't get it to go. It has been a 3.5-minute scoring drought for the Mean Green.
Well, both teams really playing sloppy right now, and if you're the Mean Green, that doesn't bode well for you, because this is a talented Utah State team, very well run, well coached on their offense, and they'll get the thing going. This may take a little while.
Offensive foul on Porter. That's his first foul of the game.
Well, Smart getting over there. I mean, he came off his man because Goo got beat. Smart runs over and weak side help. That is really intelligent defense because he saw that Goo was in trouble. Merrill taking a seat. It hasn't been a shooting exhibition here this evening. 7 for 27 combined for the two teams.
Smart trying to shake and bake Barstow. Gives it to Hamlet. His teardrop's good. That ended a nearly 4-minute scoring drought for the Mean Green.
Hamlet under control. Took what the defense gave him. That was a really good offensive set for the Mean Green. Good box out by Goo.
Barstow misses from the corner. This is not the hot shooting start that Coach Smith wanted tonight. And the Mean Green have a lot to do with that.
Well, they really are playing solid defense. You know, and they've made it an ugly game. And they're capitalizing.
Smart's shot rimmed out.
I think Utah State's got to look for Anderson. You know, and Barstow down on the low block. Try to get him the ball going to the basket.
Ooh, that was wide left. It has been a tough shooting night for these guys, but it's still early.
Well, you know, Coach Mack's got to be looking at his guys saying, listen, we're getting an opportunity right now. Let's take advantage of this. If you can hang with them, you know, it puts a little pressure on Utah State. They're expected to win this game.
That shot got blocked and then tipped. And the Aggies, under the direction of Porter, will try to run a good offensive play. This young man's already graduating. He's pursuing his master's degree at Utah State.
Well, the Mean Green have done a nice job with Mo Gibson on the bench for the last 2 or 3 minutes. And the way that Utah State's shooting, you know, the Mean Green have to get something going offensively. Because this Utah State, as LSU found out, will not stay quiet for long.
Offensive rebound for Simmons and lost the handle. Brito couldn't get it to go, but a foul was called. And that'll send us to a media timeout. Well, earlier today it was beautiful out on Montego Bay. What a remarkable, beautiful place this is. Back in a moment. Mean Green have the early lead as the Jamaican band plays here inside the Montego Bay Convention Center. And we invite you to join our NFL experts as they break down all of this week's games and give their latest analysis from a quarterback's point of view. Watch NFL Monday QB tomorrow at 6 Eastern right here on CBS Sports Network. All right, it's not quite the pep band that the kids are used to, but hey, the atmosphere is great. Unfortunately, the shooting's not.
Well, I'll tell you, I think that timeout, sure Craig Smith said the same thing he did last night. Hey, guys, just get the open shots. Try to get some easy bunnies. Taking a number of outside jump shots. I mean, Utah State's 0 for 6 from behind the arc. North Texas is not a whole lot better at 1 for 6. I mean, some abysmal shooting. Both teams shooting under 30% from the field in this first half.
So Diego Brito will go to the free throw line. Young man from Portugal, played on his homeland's national team. He's a 3-time Mountain West Conference Scholar athlete. Played really well here on Friday night.
He sure did. I mean, I was real impressed. You need your leadership from your seniors, and Brito at 12 points. No, and it was pretty much perfect from the field. The thing is he had a couple steals. I thought his defense was really good. He had that huge dunk in the first half early in the game that I think it let LSU know that this is a team that's for real.
Aggies extend their defense. All right, the Mean Green has hit just 1 of its last 8. And that's a foul. And free throws coming up now for Roosevelt Smart, the senior from Chicago.
Utah State foul.
You know, when you're on the perimeter, you have to pump fake. That time was a great pump fake by Smart. Anderson went for it. He was able to get in the heart of the defense and draw the foul from Miller.
Well, when you're having a poor shooting game, right? Utah State just 1 of its last 10. The Mean Green 1 of 8. Getting to the free throw line is an easy way to get some points if you can get there.
Well, and you know, as the coaches always say, if you're wide open, sometimes there's a reason. You don't need to shoot that jump shot. And try to get it inside. Shooting is about confidence, so you either get to the free throw line or you get an easy bunny. What a great move by Porter. That's a good crossover, gets to the basket.
And a smart play. He'll go to the free throw line now. That's the first foul on Jackson. And the 4th foul now on the Mean Green here in this first half.
It's a physical game. Abel Porter took it right to the hoop. He really struggled on Friday night. You know, 3 assists, but he had a couple turnovers. Really didn't score the ball, but he's capable. Able to knock down the jump shot. He's able to get to the rim.
Porter's the young man that hit that memorable shot to win at New Mexico last year for the Aggies.
I think North Texas does the same thing. The Mean Green have to get mean and green. They have to play hard, and they have to be a little bit tougher than they were the other night. Another foul.
That one's on Porter, and that'll be his 2nd personal foul.
The Mean Green have not scored a field goal in the last 2.5 minutes.
With 2 fouls, Porter will take a seat on the Aggies bench. Sean Bairstow returns to the lineup now for Coach Smith.
Inside is open. Good pass out of it by Bell.
Mo Gibson, he really likes that post bounce pass, doesn't he?
He does, and he
but
does a good
couldn't
job.
Convert.
And basically, they're getting the ball inside. The problem is, when the big fella comes over, these guys are jumping, and he's not. He's just standing there and walling up. He's a big, tall drink of water down low.
Karvosky to Merrill, and he's fouled in the open court. Fouls on Bell.
Karvosky's so tall, and his arms stretch out. He doesn't have to move. He just keeps his hands up. He's able to get the block from behind. He didn't even jump.
James Reese checks back in for North Texas. And for Utah State, number 34, Justin Bean.
North Texas is struggling. Both teams 1 of their last 10. It's been 5 minutes since Utah State has scored last, and 3 minutes since North Texas has scored last.
Merrill to Miller.
So get the ball inside to the big fella. He's right under the basket. Another turnover.
That's a great job by North Texas. I mean, it's not just bad shooting. Both teams are playing solid on the defensive end.
5th turnover for Utah State. Sorry, 3rd turnover for Utah State.
Jalen Jackson around the horn to Reese. Gibson from deep, and maybe too deep. Nearly stolen underneath by Goo.
But, you know, Bill, North Texas is able to get the ball inside. They've been able to do it the last couple times. You're going to get the shot blocked, but you got to keep going at the big fella, and you got to keep being aggressive to the basket.
Sam Merrill, as you see, still scoreless in this game.
That doesn't mean anything in this game with him. Merrill, I'll tell you what, he can get 10 points and three assists in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes. But
that pass was to nobody, and Goo at the other end finally ends the Mean Green drought. And head coach Craig Smith's going to call a timeout. Coach Smith is hot at his team. Goo with the Ram Jam gives the Mean Green the lead.
Well, uncharacteristic turnover by Merrill. Nice pass. Goo for 2.
Low-scoring first half here at the Jersey Mike's Jamaica Classic. Mean Green 15 and the Aggies 13. Let's take a look at our Tommy Bahama player profile. And it's this young man from Waco, Texas, Mo Gibson.
Now, Mo Gibson had a solid game last night, 20 points, 3 assists, and only 1 turnover. 99 three-point jumpers made last season. He's the straw that stirs his strength, but like everybody else, he's struggling. I mean, you know, he only has 2 points, does have two steals, but as he goes, so does North Texas, and they need to get some offense out of this guy. He's a really good player.
Mean Green extend their defense a little bit here. Let's see what Utah State does in the final 7:43. Coach Craig Smith was really hot. He's trying to fire up his team. He was hot after that turnover. And near steal again. Ball will stay with Utah State here. That's a tough place to pick up your dribble.
I'll tell you, and Gibson Jr. is all over the place. The Mean Green are playing very solid basketball. They're hustling. Not a whole lot going in. But both of them, Bean and Gibson, going out there, laying it all on the line for this team.
Yeah, you mentioned Friday night he was great against Rhode Island with 20. But today, no one's having any offensive stats to brag about, at least not in the first 12 or so minutes of this one.
Yeah, I think the defense has been really good, but these guys have been cold. Everybody's just been cold.
2 tries. Utah State cannot get a basket, and the ball goes out of bounds. The Aggies will maintain it.
Goose fighting down on the low block along with Bell. They're going to reverse that call, and it's going to be Utah State ball.
Aggies are now 1 of their last 12 for the game.
It's tough fighting in there. I mean, guys fighting to get the ball, letting him to play. You see the ball went off of Goo. Shot clock will reset to 20 seconds. No, it's going to be 30. They're going to say possession. I tell you, they are all over Merrill. Reese is just playing solid defense. Every time Merrill gets the ball, trying to keep him from getting the ball. They're doubling up on him.
They call a reach-in foul on Mo Gibson. With 13 on the clock, he got a bit of the ball, but most of the arm of Brito.
To see right here, you know, he had his hands up there, and as soon as Brito moved, he got caught with his hands. But this is a North Texas team. They're really, really making an effort, you know, to get this basketball program some national recognition. First tournament during the season out of the country, and had a chance to talk to Ren Baker, who's their AD. He actually was a GA and an assistant coach for Eddie Sutton. Should check out the struggles. But, you know, he's really trying to get this to make it not just a football school, but also a basketball school. And he's got to be impressed at the way this team is playing defense.
Another sloppy pass leads to a run out for Bell. Yes, and the foul. He made the basket, but he lost his contact.
Yeah, he found it. That's pretty good. Anybody has context know how hard that is. That was an anticipation play by Bell. That goes up with the left hand, and Brito hustling back, but not able to block it. Bell will get a chance for the N1. I mean, how do you find a contact like that? I mean, I can't find a contact when I'm in the morning trying to put my contacts in.
They're going to look at the monitor to see if it was a flagrant foul. In the meantime, Thomas Bell will get some saline and a fresh look for the young man from East St. Louis, Illinois.
I just think that's a normal foul, a normal basketball foul. He's going up to block the shot. You know, I think they're going to have to call that. I mean, it was a pretty tough foul, but still a normal foul, I would think. The referees have been really good so far in this tournament.
Those 3 gentlemen are Dwayne Gladden, Sean Hall, and Steve Anderson. They are an ACC crew. Not a flagrant foul, just one free throw coming up for Thomas Bell. That's the right call. There's the breakdown of what a flagrant one is. And what a flagrant 2 is, which of course leads to the player being ejected. So that was not a dirty play at all. One free throw.
Lost in this whole thing was a great defense by Bell. He anticipated that pass to the post by Anderson. And they ruled that just a regular foul. Bell a chance for an and one. Good board by Bean. Utah State's got to pick it up. They got to get something going right now. The defense has been smothering.
Bean had his shot blocked by Bell, but they'll call the foul, and Bean will go to the line.
That was a miscommunication on North Texas, their part, because nobody picked up Bean. He went unrestricted to the basket until Bell was able to pick him up. This is a physical game, and Utah State's got right now has to match the physicality of the Mean Green.
You know, on Friday night, Utah State fell behind LSU. They just did not come out. They didn't shoot well early. It's kind of the same thing here tonight. Once they got their rhythm, they appeared to be unstoppable. They got the momentum going. But this is the second game in a row here where in the first half, they've had a hard time getting things going.
And I'll tell you, the offensive firepower that LSU has is a lot different than North Texas. So the lead is not as big, but it's the same point made. You're exactly right. They have to figure out how to run that offense and get guys off picks, get them open. And when they get open, knock down the jump shot. They're 0 for 7 from behind the arc. This is a really good three-point shooting team.
James Reese against Miller. The step-back jumper. He missed that.
Both teams combined are 10 for 40, make that 11 for 41.
The jumper goes in for Brito. Coach McCaslin calls timeout. We've got ourselves a tie ball game here in the first half. Tie ball game with 6:03 to go in the first half. The Mean Green and the Utah State Aggies tonight from Montego Bay. Hey, finally we had a fast break basket.
Well, it was basically the second time in a row. Defensive miscue by North Texas. Brito now becomes the leading scorer in this game with 5 points.
With 5, yes.
I take that back. Gu has 6, but
leading scorer for the Aggies.
Gibson has to get involved in this offense. They're throwing a second man at him, you know, trying to slow down the game. 15 seconds and still Mean Green are not into the scoring area. There they go. 7 on the shot
to shoot. Here's Jackson. Now to Smart. Tough heave for Gibson, and he misses.
Good defense in the half court by Utah State.
Well, I think it's safe to say that everybody on both teams took a lot of time on the scouting report. They saw the teams play Friday. These teams are incredibly well coached. The scouting reports were right on, so nobody could run their offense here tonight. Yeah. Everyone is just anticipating, and they've, to their credit, done well on the defensive side.
Yeah, they really have, and Jackson takes it all the way to the basket and gets a roller. Getting some production off the bench for the Mean Green. It's some tough sledding for Utah State. Miller.
That's 2 shots in a row from that spot on the court, and we're tied again at 19. Muhammad was shot ready, but he couldn't connect. And the Mean Green keep it alive. Fresh shot clock. Gibson zips it to the corner. That's just a bad pass. Threw it right at the feet of his teammate, Muhammad.
Well, Jalen Jackson, little guy, taking the ball to Anderson. And then Miller coming off a pick, and over Smart dropping the jump shot to go. And I mean, it's been tough sledding for both these teams. Utah State's shooting a little bit better from the three-point line than North Texas. 13% to 11%.
You're being generous.
But both teams shooting under 30% from the field.
Merrill sat down, still has yet to score in this game. It's a bit of a breather. Bean fights to keep it alive against Simmons. And Brito again. And that doesn't go down. And a point-blank miss, but a foul on the rebound. That'll send us to our media timeout at the 4-minute break. The Mean Green and the Aggies from Utah State tied here in Montego Bay. Well, the Florida State Seminoles went 2-0 on this island to take home the inaugural 2017 Montego Bay Championship as M.J. Walker was named the MVP for Leonard Hamilton's team. Last year we saw Loyola Marymount defeat Georgetown and Ohio to win the Montego Bay Championship, with James Bateman taking home the MVP honors for the Lions, who took that championship trophy back home to Los Angeles. Tonight, if Utah State wins, they'll take that championship trophy home to beautiful Logan, Utah, home of Utah State University. Out of the timeout, a couple of free throws for the Aggies. Alfonso Anderson.
Look over there at halftime, see if there's a tipping ring on these baskets.
We're going to have to measure it again.
Yeah, it's been an unattractive offensive game, but it's not only the defense has been good, but free throws, struggling to make free throws. You gotta, both teams just can't find that rhythm.
Here's Hamlet trying to shake Porter. And now Gibson once again.
Gibson has not really done much here this first half.
That hit the glass, but nothing else.
Boy, that was really good defense by Porter. He was able to keep Gibson in front of him, force Gibson to throw a bad shot up. Look at Porter getting over there, getting nice help from Anderson down low. That's team defense.
Sam Merrill will return to the Aggies lineup now, replacing Miller with 3:36 to play. Remember, now only 8 on the shot clock as the Mean Green inbounds. Hamlet from the free throw line got that to go, and the Mean Green retake the lead.
Actually, Hamlet's probably playing one of the best games of anybody on the court. He's got 4 points. He's been efficient. Hasn't turned the ball over as he did on Friday.
You know, you play when you're in a game like this, sometimes you just got to grind through it, right?
Well, you do. You got to figure out how you're going to do it. Maybe you get it in transition. Beautiful pass from Bean. Wow. I just love watching this kid play. Bean, 34 with a face mask on. He's so fundamental. He's already got 8 rebounds in the game. Struggling on the offensive end, but I tell you, that was just a beautiful pass. Good recognition.
There have been very few uncontested shots in this game. Smart hits the 3. And in a seesaw game, North Texas retakes the lead with 2:38 to go.
Tell you what, now we're having an offensive explosion. Both teams scoring.
And Bean gets it to go off the glass.
I tell you, it's with that face mask on, he says it's hard. I mean, you can feel it. It moves. He felt he got fouled on that play. Both teams going at it now. The offense is starting to pick up a little bit.
Hamlet draws the double and gets pushed to the deck. Well, we finally had some offensive rhythm, didn't we?
Smart coming in, getting that jump shot. That was the extra pass, though, from Hamlet. I'm saying I think he's done a good job shooting the ball, but he's also passing and distributing. And Bean looking like George Mikan with that little hook shot down low. He's just very efficient. He's Johnny on the spot rebounding. We talked about Emmett Williams for LSU and how he was rebounding. They rebound differently. Emmett Williams can get up, and he's very good and athletic. You know, Bean gets good position. He's always around the ball. Good defense by Merrill there.
8 to shoot again. There have been a lot of short shot clock heaves, but that one goes down for Mo Gibson. And it's a 3-point lead, 27-24.
Can't sit there and watch it, though. You have to get back. And that time, as soon as that ball went through the hoop, North Texas a little bit celebrating Mo Gibson's jump shot. You got to sprint to recover because that ball went straight to the net and straight down court. And Bean now shooting free throws. You just see Mo Gibson opening up from outside. He has 5 points. The transition game, as you look at Craig Smith, for Utah State, is not just on missed baskets. Once the ball goes through, they're going to come down and try to push you, and they're able to get down before the defense sets up.
You know, Craig was the head coach at South Dakota before going to Utah State. His very last game that he coached for South Dakota was against the Mean Green, and that was in the CBI tournament 3 years ago, and North Texas won that game. In fact, they won it big.
A little revenge factor here.
Deep three from the corner. Yes, sirree.
For you young kids, Merrill's a leading scorer, hasn't scored a bucket in this first half. Comes down and makes the extra pass to Brito. A lot of guys will come down and take that shot. He did. That's just a smart, heady play by Merrill.
That's a good look. Off the mark, saved in play. And here come the Mean Green. They've made their last 3 field goal attempts here in this first half. 4 in a row. Gibson heating up in the final minute of this first half. Merrill over to Miller. Aggies down 1, another near steal. Brito's open again. Lost the handle of the ball going up at the horn. Mean Green will get the ball for their final shot now. And Hamlet lets it go. He was knocked down and misses at the horn. And at halftime, North Texas with a 1-point lead over Utah State. The last 5 minutes of the first half saw an offensive explosion, so to speak. The Aggies hit 4 of their last 5 shots. The Mean Green hit 5 of their last 7. And at halftime, North Texas leads 30-29. Coach Mack continues to talk with Hamlet about that final play at the end of the first half. But the Mean Green, bidding for the upset, have the lead over number 15 Utah State. Let's go to Steve with Coach Mack.
Hey, Coach, what an offensive half. You made it ugly, but it's working.
Yeah, we've been ugly offensively, and thankfully Mo can make shots from deep like that with the clock being low. You know, we've had a few turnovers that have cost us in transition. Our transition defense has been terrible. Really, that's it. We don't turn it over and we don't give them transition baskets. I've been happy with how we played.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Brad McCaslin, the head coach of the Mean Green. They've got the lead by 1 over number 15 Utah State here at halftime of the 2019 Jersey Mike's Jamaica Classic. Coming up, AT&T at the half from the Montego Bay Convention Center on this Sunday night. Stay tuned.